Ladies and gentlemen, we invite Candace Johnson, the president of EBAN, and a woman widely recognized as the first woman to do angel investing in the space technology sector in Europe. Candace, please, if you would take a seat, and we will have microphones for you in just a moment. And we would like to welcome on stage our special guest, from pilot to astronaut to general, then rebel, and now, proudly, refugee. Here in Istanbul, please welcome Mohammed Ahmed Faris to the stage, please.
So, General Mohammed, maybe all of you don't know, not only am I an angel investor, but I am actually also a space and a satellite entrepreneur. I've built 5 space companies and am also now working in building 5 more satellite space companies. So I'm also the daughter of an Air Force general from the United States who brought the United States into space. My father was one of the founders of the United States space industry and worked with President Kennedy at that time. When I was growing up, my father was also a general in Vietnam. And this was in 1968. And everybody said, "Oh, Candace, you cannot wear peace beads because your father is a general." And I said, at age 16, I said, "My father is fighting for peace." And I believe this is exactly what General Mohammed is doing. And just before I give the microphone to General Mohammed, I would also like to say that I do not believe in the word refugee. I do not think that this is the word to describe people who are leaving their homes to go to a new world. In my parlance, these are pioneers. These are people who are leaving everything they knew and they're going to this new world. So I prefer to call them pioneers. And I look at, somebody quoted a McKinsey report. Actually, there's another McKinsey report called "The Immigrants Are the New Normal." And it shows how much these new pioneers of the 21st century are bringing to a new world paradigm. And finally, whenever I have problems, and people say, "Oh, you cannot do this." And I say, "Look, I work in space. I work in satellites. And in space, you can have international peace." So, General Mohammed, we're so happy to have you here. A pioneer in space, a pioneer for the 21st century, a freedom fighter indeed, and we've seen this beautiful movie about you. I would like for you perhaps to share what your inner thoughts are when you went to space, when you left your home to go to a new country for a while, you will come back. those inner thoughts that led you to break new frontiers?
Mr. President, ministers, guests, I'm sorry because I shall speak in Arabic because language Russian take me. For that exactly in English I can't speak. Thank you very much for your شكرا لمشاعرك الطيبة.
Thank you very much for, I guess it's not working, but appreciate it. So Mr. Mohammed is saying thank you so much for your sharing your thoughts.
طبعا أنا مسرور جدا بوجودي بينكم. كأني أشعر أن الأمم المتحدة موجودة هنا وهذا من دواعي سروري ما في شك يعني والسيد الرئيس والسادة الوزراء والضيوف والمستثمرين فأنا سعيد جدا بينهم. لن نتحدث كثيرا عن الألم بل أتمنى أن نتحدث عن المستقبل وعن القادم.
So he's saying basically I'm very happy and proud to be here with the investors, the ministers, the president, and I'm not here to talk about anything negative or about sadness. So we are here to talk about the future and positive things.
طبعا أنا أتشكرك على كلمة لاجئ. أنا أكره كلمة لاجئ لأنني أحب كلمة مهاجر. أنا كرائد فضاء حينما ذهبت إلى الفضاء الخارجي كما سألتني كنت أفكر دائما بالإنسانية. كنت أفكر كيف سأرى بيت الإنسان من الفضاء الخارجي. كنت أفكر كيف جمالية هذا الكوكب الذي يحتوي على الجنس البشري.
So he's saying, I share the same point of view, which is I hate the word refugees. So for me, we are not refugees, we are immigrants. And the first time, as you were asking me when I was into the space, the first thoughts and the first thing that he was thinking about was like seeing the whole planet, seeing all the planets and the people there as humans.
طبعا أنا كنت كما تخيلت رأيت الكوكب الأرض جميل رائع. يعني كلما أسأل السؤال ما هو أجمل شيء رأيته من الفضاء الخارجي كنت أجيب بأن أجمل شيء هو منظر الأرض وكوكب الأرض الذي نعيش عليه. أجمل ما فيه أننا لم نرى أي حدود بين الدول.
So he's saying when they ask me what's the most beautiful thing that you have seen, and my answer is the space, the planet, because from the planet and from the space you can see only equality. So you cannot see basically like, or maybe you can see the humans.
وقلت كثيرا الأرض هي أم الإنسانية، هي الحضن الدافئ للإنسان. الحياة في الفضاء صعبة وقاسية بالرغم أننا يجب أن نستغل الفضاء من أجل العلم، من أجل الاستثمار، من أجل فائدة الإنسانية جمعاء.
So the planet is the mother of humanity, he's saying. And even though like being in a planet is not an easy thing, it was difficult, but we have to take advantage of it for the knowledge, for the investments.
I could not agree more. Last night we were fortunate to be sharing we're breaking bread and we were sharing some thoughts. And, you know, I said that we as angel investors and we as entrepreneurs and we as pioneering immigrants, we are so lucky because we only work on building things, on creating things, on being positive. And we invest in the future and in the next generation. And particularly, you know, we are here, and I like to call it the golden era of space. Because 60 years ago, the Sputnik was launched. And today, we are experiencing private investors and private entrepreneurs. I always did everything privately. I never worked with the government. I just started a satellite system or started a new launcher system. But this apparently was quite unusual. So everybody today now, and thanks to Elon Musk and people like him, People are now realizing that space is one of the things that we can all invest in, and that space is also something that the entrepreneurs can be very active in. And, I think it would be interesting to hear from you, General Mohammed, what possible new sectors you see where entrepreneurs and angel investors can be active in space.
طبعا الاستثمار الآن نحن نعيش في عصر الفضاء بكل ما تعني هذه الكلمة من معنى. نحن نعيش عصر الفضاء بكل ما تعني هذه الكلمة من معنى. ولذلك الاستثمار الأمثل هو الاستثمار الفضائي بإطلاق الأقمار الاصطناعية بالبحث العلمي بكافة مجالات العلوم الإنسانية، وهذا يؤدي إلى تطور الحياة على سطح الأرض.
So he's saying we need, if we want to invest in this space, so we need to find investors in satellites, like sending out satellites from here to invest in this space.
ولكن ما أريد أن أقوله لو سمحت لي.
What I want to say, if you wouldn't mind.
الآن أيها السادة المستثمرون، يوجد على هذه الأرض عشرات الملايين بل مئات الملايين من المهاجرين الذين تركوا أوطانهم وبلدانهم نتيجة الظروف الصعبة التي يعيشونها، سواء بالحروب أو بالمجاعات أو إلى آخره.
So just he's saying, dear investors, just keep in mind that on this earth, thousands of millions of refugees, they are immigrants. They are coming here and they are living maybe in poverty, and they are just living on their own here.
هناك المئات بل الآلاف من الأمثلة من المهاجرين الذين أبدعوا في كافة مجالات الحياة وأعطوا للإنسانية إبداعات لا تقدر بثمن.
Even though there is like thousands of millions of immigrants living outside of their countries, they were very productive and they were very creative in the investment world.
ولذلك أنا أقول لكم بعد إذنكم، حتى تبقى الأرض مضاءة بشكل كامل يجب علينا أن نلتفت إلى المهاجرين. هناك الآلاف بل الملايين من المهاجرين الذين يمكن أن نستثمر فيهم علمياً واجتماعياً وبناء إيجابي لكافة المجتمعات التي هاجروا إليها.
So he's saying, please, I would spot the line on the people, on the immigrants that are coming here, and he's calling for the investors to invest in these immigrants because he's saying that they can do a lot of things.
So, I couldn't agree more. I talked about my father, but my mother was a Romanian immigrant to the United States. And we are all immigrants. In the United States, we were all immigrants. General Mohammed, if I may also say, so yes, indeed, angel investors are investing in providing solution. I mean, when we invest in somebody, very often they are not from that country. They have come from somewhere else. So there's nobody who is more open, I believe, to than angel investors, because we are not part of the corporate world. We are not part of the government world. We are people, and we invest in people. And those people may be black, they may be yellow, they may be white, they may be whatever. They may be coming from one country, but what is important is that they are people and that they can do great things. And I would just say that one of the small investments that I made was to invest in a program to bring Raspberry Pi, which is the $25 computer, to the Syrian refugee camps in Lebanon, so that the kids, 9 and 10 years old, could learn how to program and code with computers. And, you know, I am sure that we're going to have a Bill Gates and a Steve Jobs, who, by the way, was Syrian. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sure that we're going to have one of these.
From home.
Exactly, exactly. So I will give you the last word. We have run out of our time. And I say that I hope that we can join together to invest in people, as we always do, to invest in the next generation, to invest in a world and in a space that is for humanity, and that we can do this together.
Thank you very much. إن شاء الله. طبعا أنا برد أحكي مرة كلمة واحدة فقط. انظروا للمهاجرين نظرة إيجابية، ويمكن أن يجب أن نخرج ما بداخلهم. المهاجر هو مضغوط، يحتاج إلى من يحتضنه. المستثمر صاحب المال هو الذي يمكن أن يحتضنه.
So Mr. Mohammed is saying, just my last word would be, just look at the refugees from a point of view that they are human beings, and we can push them to make them more creative and to take out the creativity that they have inside of them, because they are living in a world with the pressure. They are not living an easy life.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.